This is Chatterbinge
with Kalegi and Caryn Richman.
It is a line written by George Bernard Shaw, and it was popularized by Robert F. Kennedy. It reads, "Some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream things that never were and ask why not." Caryn, the other night when I wasn't feeling very well and I was sick and essentially up all night, I allowed my mind to go into some very distant places, and this is what I brought back. Things that should exist, but don't.
Wow. That's what you were lying in bed thinking about. That's so interesting. And are these things that apply to your life specifically, or some, or just general, universal things that we need that actually don't exist?
Being the big benevolent Kalegi that I am, these are things the world can benefit. So yes, I can partake, but perhaps you would find enjoyment or some usefulness out of these things as well. These are random. These just came out of nowhere. I don't know if it was divine intervention at 3:15 in the morning, but there they were. They're on my phone because I was texting myself at 3:15 in the morning. That's how bad it's become. Here we go. The first one. Books that are bound across the top with a spiral binding like a stenographer's pad to make reading in bed much easier.
I'm giving this a moment's thought because I have to be honest, it never occurred to me that it wasn't already fairly easy. So are you telling me that you have difficulty turning the pages while you're reading a book? I'm sorry.
No. No, it's okay. And I know you're laughing at me, and that's okay. That's fine. But think about the entire mechanical process here. I can turn the page. I have no problem with that. But once you turn the page, you have to moor that turned page into place so it doesn't want to flop back over as you're reading page 262 after you just turned away from page 261. So you've got to use the left hand with the thumb to keep the used pages, the red pages, in place, and you have to use the right hand and the right thumb to keep the book in the right place and the right orientation for you to read it. If I could just simply flip it over, the page is gone, and I don't have to worry about it, and I can enjoy the prose that much more.
You know, you might have something there. I might have to give this one to you because you can also fold it sort of under and in the back like you do with a spiral notebook. You don't have to hold it with both pages open. Do you know what I mean? But it does beg the question, I suppose. We are a land and a universe of great thinkers. We just sent a rocket up into the moon, circling, and we have made great progress in the world. So why do you think they haven't done that? What are the downsides of having a book? Would it make it that much thicker, do you think?
You would have to have the large spiral binding, and then it would add cost to the publishing of the book. I think if they do a second printing of my book, that's a conversation I need to have with my publisher. I want to make the reader comfortable. And you know, you said something just then that really just stirred a memory. You talked about how you could turn the page, but then flip the whole book around so you don't have to have the two pages or the two sides at one time. You once played a secretary in a television show, and I saw you do that, and I thought it was an interesting choice. Why didn't you just keep the notebook flat and turn the page? You literally picked it up, wrapped the pages around, and then placed it back down on the desk. And I just found that to be an interesting choice, and I don't know why that popped into my head, but when you said that, it made me think of an episode of Jake and the Fat Man when you're doing a scene with Joe Penny. You're writing something down, but you're wrapping the pages around rather than just turning the pages in the notebook. My goodness, the whole thing just came full circle. So there.
Whoa, wait a minute. First of all, how do you know that? I have not 1 ounce of recollection of that. I barely remember doing the show. It was a million years ago, but you're saying as my character, I picked up a pad?
Yes, a notebook, a spiral notebook.
So I'm guessing it was for logistical reasons. Like it was too awkward to hold it open. Was I writing? I really do not know what you're talking about.
You were sitting at a desk, but instead of just turning the page and writing on the next page, you picked the book up. You turned the page and wrapped it around, just as you described what I could do or should do, and then you placed it back down and started writing again. And I don't know why, that just stuck in my head. I saw the episode about 2 or 3 months ago because we were talking about that episode the last time you and I were together in California, and I ended up watching it one night just to recollect the whole conversation that we had. Kind of weird, but it's, yeah.
Wow, Ed Kalegi. Sometimes I don't know whether to be flattered that you remember things or very, very frightened. Either which way, I think I'm going to have to go dig that up, although I think I have it on VHS at this point. I don't know where I would find it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. And you probably know, right? Where is it?
It's on YouTube. Yeah, some Jake and the Fat Man fan put all the episodes up there, and boom, there it is.
Okay, moving on. Here we go.
Room deodorizer spray for the kitchen that smells like a delicious roast beef dinner. Here's why. Think about when you talk about the great smells of your home. You've said this to me. Oh, I love when my kitchen smells like this wonderful meal that I'm preparing. But when the meal is over, the smell goes away. Now, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on any ambient Thursday or perhaps Wednesday, you can spray this room deodorizer and your kitchen can smell like a roast beef dinner cooking in the oven. Why not?
Well, for one, imagine how toxic that spray would ultimately be in your kitchen. How do you create a spray that smells like roast beef dinner? Secondly, I'm going to push back on this one because I'm not particularly a fan of roast beef dinners. I would love one that smells like pizza.
Well, there you go. There you go. Pizza spray. We can sell it for you. It could be anything. It could be oatmeal, it could be pizza, it could be roast beef, it could be chicken soup. We don't know, we don't care. 10 varieties of smells to make your kitchen smell delicious any time of the day or night.
I really, truly, the first place I went to was how do you create that in an organic sort of healthy way that you're not breathing in, you know, when they make a lot of those room deodorizers that you spray, they're not very good for you. I will say this. Yes. I did think of you because you're such a candle aficionado. I have a candle. I mentioned this on another show once because candles seem to come up a lot. And I have one that smells, it's called Pan Dulce, and it smells like cookie dough. And I actually had someone here the other day that said, ooh, one of your neighbors is baking. I'm going to go home and bake. And I said, no, smell this candle. And it was absolutely the candle. It wasn't even lit. So perhaps you're onto something, but I would offer up that maybe it doesn't have to be a spray. Maybe it's a container of delicious smelling, I don't know, candles, cream, something that elicits the smell.
You can use it in a candle warmer, okay? We're not burning things into the air. It's not going to be toxic. We're going to warm this substance, whatever it is, and it's going to then just, be able to linger and cause wonderful feelings and thoughts and smells in your home.
All right, I'm on board with this one.
Here's a good one. A bar of soap for the shower or tub that vibrates when activated by water.
Well, my mind just went to a place that we shouldn't be discussing.
No. See, you don't need to go there. No, you know what? No, for a nice soothing massage on the arms, perhaps on the shoulders, the neck, the upper chest, the legs. Wouldn't that be nice? Think about the best massage you ever had. Then think about having it in the bathtub or in the shower, administered by yourself and your bar of soap.
Still, my mind keeps going back to the same place. Okay, challenge. What if you don't use a bar of soap? Like for me, I use, a more kind of luxurious moisturizing cream in the shower. And that whole bottle's not going to vibrate. I'm not going to take that one away from you, but really, truly, I think I love the other two a bit more than this one. But if that makes you happy, I'm behind you. You
know what? Here at Kalegi Laboratories, we want to serve the entire population. So why can't we introduce some sort of emollients into this liquid soap that vibrates when that liquid soap is then activated by water? So why not? If we can have it in a bar, we can have it in your body wash as well. We aim to please here at Kalegi Laboratories. The last one, vegetable-filled donuts. No more guilt. You get some nutrition with the pleasure of eating a donut later on in the afternoon each day.
Oh my gosh. Why though? That is such a
No,
dichotomy.
why not? Why can't I have broccoli in my donut?
If you want broccoli, you have my blessing, but I can't imagine walking into a donut shop where there are deliciously, lusciously glazed donuts with sprinkles and everything good and wondering if they might have one that has peas and broccoli and carrots in it, unless maybe if you can smush it into the dough and disguise it. But that's sort of like, do you want to be able to taste the vegetables? I need a little clarity here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love broccoli. I would welcome that. I'd love to go into my local donut shop right now and say, give me a large coffee and 2 creamed corn donuts to go.
Maybe you can just bring your own broccoli and shove it into one of the donuts and see if that actually works.
Oh, now you're being ridiculous. I'm Ed Kalegi.
And I'm Caryn Richman. And this is Chatterbinge.
One part smart, one part fun, all parts entertaining.
It's what we call Chatterbinge.
Chatterbinge.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can always catch our best guest conversations and segments right here on the YouTube home of Chatterbinge.